Assalamu alaikum, ladies. Welcome to Healing Aspirations with Amani. My name is Amani Obeid, your holistic dental health coach. My mission is to help women overcome their fear of the dentist and tooth pain and simplify natural oral care. Today is day number 10 of the pre-Ramadan reboot. This is the last day. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching live, type live in the comments. And if you are watching the replay, type replay in the comments. So I want to spend this last day just to give you my last tips on how to eat properly during Ramadan to optimize your oral health and your total body health. I gave a few little bits here and there, but what I want to focus on today is some foods that really do a great job at healing your teeth, some nourishing foods, some vital foods that I think you should incorporate at least once or several times a week, and I'll let you know, inshallah. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today. So one of the first things I want to talk about is healthy fats. And specifically today, I want to talk about animal fats. At least once a day, if you can make an effort to make with your meal between a teaspoon to a tablespoon of a healthy animal fat, such as grass-fed ghee, which is the only form of dairy that I recommend because it has all the casein and the lactose removed from it. Or, for example, pastured beef tallow, which is basically after the suet from the beef has been rendered and it becomes the tallow. So I recommend that you use that, incorporate it into your cooking. You can put it on your greens. And the reason why I recommend this one, Salam alaikum Yaniq, is to help you absorb whatever minerals are in the meal that you're eating. So the reason why it helps you absorb the minerals in the food is these fats tend to have a high amount of vitamin K2. And vitamin K2 is the vitamin that basically programs your body, tells your body to put whatever calcium, whatever minerals into your bones, as opposed to the calcium floating freely around your body and calcium and causing bad calcification. I'm sure you've heard of the term, calcification of arteries or kidney stones, things like that. You don't want your calcium to be calcifying soft tissue. You want it to be going into your bones and strengthening your bones. So that's my number one tip, tip in terms of the foods that I recommend. The other one I want you to incorporate between 1 to 2 times a week is liver. Liver is an extremely nutrient-dense food, is extremely high in vitamin A. And the late Dr. Weston A. Price, when he went to study the different populations, the ones that are considered backward according to today's standards, he noticed that their diets were extremely high in fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin A. So 10 times the amounts that are being eaten and consumed in industrial societies. And vitamin A is very important also in bone metabolism, in developing your teeth, strengthening them. It also basically plays a role with the vitamin K2 that I mentioned in the healthy fats right now. So what I want you to do is once or twice a week to have about 4 ounces of beef liver. And there's so many recipes out there. And even if you don't like it, there's so many ways to incorporate it into your food so that you don't taste it, or you can try different recipes. Sometimes it's just a mental block. Maybe you had a bad association for some reason. Just your goal right now is you want to heal your teeth. You think about what you want. Your end goal is you do not want any sensitivity this Ramadan. You don't want to have a checkup after Ramadan. Your dentist tells you, oh, you have another cavity, right? So inshallah, in the future, I'll post a couple of recipes for liver that you can try. Some people, what they do is they actually take it into very thin slivers. They chop it up, put it in the freezer, and then after a couple of weeks, by then, any bacteria that's inside has been basically eliminated, or for the most part eliminated, and they just have a little chunk every day. So it's kind of like a superfood pill of a little chunk of vitamin A each day. So you can try that as well. My third recommendation is sardines. And the reason for sardines is it's an amazing superfood. It's got the bone calcium, bone phosphorus together, which is just like your teeth. I highly recommend that, especially given I don't advocate dairy consumption, as a lot of people do not tolerate dairy, although a lot of people are in denial, but that's a whole topic on its own. So I highly recommend it for that. An excellent way to nourish your teeth. It's got selenium. A lot of people are deficient in selenium. It's another micro trace mineral. Has omega-3s. Instead of you buying omega-3 supplements, just eat sardines several times a week, and there's your omega-3 consumption right there. It's good for brain health. It's good for your eye development. It reduces inflammation. Amazing. And it's got vitamin D. It's one of the rare sources of food source-based vitamin D, because the majority of vitamin D throughout history for humans has been through sun exposure. So that's number 3. The next one is seaweed. And I highly recommend seaweed because a lot of people are also very deficient in iodine, and iodine is very important for your thyroid health. And like I said before, your teeth are a reflection of your whole body. So if you do not have optimal thyroid function, then you're also not, you also don't have optimal hormonal production in your body, and this is going to affect your teeth, right? So seaweed, I highly recommend that you try a type of seaweed. You can try kelp or kombu, you can try wakame and make a seaweed soup out of it. You can mix it with some shiitake mushrooms. You can make a soup base from fish flakes as well. This is very common in Korean culture or in Japan as well, where they consume a lot of seaweed, and it's extremely, extremely nourishing. It's also actually very high in calcium as well. If you can't fathom drinking the soups from seaweed, you could also try a kelp powder supplement. So take about half a teaspoon of a quality kelp powder about 4 times a week. This is an excellent way for you to support your thyroid function, inshallah. My next one is actually food I love to eat. And people either love it or hate it. I'm the one that loves it, is oysters. Like, what do oysters have to do with teeth? Well, oysters are basically the highest source of zinc. And believe it or not, zinc, along with magnesium that I talked about yesterday, is one of the minerals that the majority of people are deficient in. It's involved in so many processes, and in this context, in terms of teeth, it is really beneficial when it comes to healing. If you're having some sort of, let's say you have a cut on your hand, the zinc, along with other vitamins and minerals, is very important, plays a very important role in healing, right? So if you want to heal your teeth, you want to boost your immune system and promote your body's regeneration, then you want to make sure you have optimal amounts of zinc. And one of the easiest sources that is extremely potent is oysters. The next one that comes after that is red meat, but it comes nothing close to what oysters have. It's basically like a superfood supplement of zinc, which is super cool. So you can, I love them in any way. So some people eat them raw, but you want to make sure that it is a quality source. And I highly encourage you to put some lemon juice, and the lemon juice will basically break down any of the bacteria that linger in the oysters. Again, you want to make sure that they're from a fishmonger that you're comfortable buying from. You want to make sure they're fresh, from a good source, and so you can eat them, raw, half on the shell. I absolutely love that. It's amazing. It's like getting a breath of the ocean. Another alternative is to buy smoked canned oysters, but just make sure they're not from China. Make sure it's either from the States or from Canada or somewhere more reputable, inshallah. And maybe you can, for example, eat a can of those a week. It's excellent for, like I said, healing. If you notice white spots on your nails, it's not always the case, but it is a sign of zinc deficiency. Or if you have very dry skin, it's a sign of zinc deficiency. If you're getting sick a lot, zinc deficiency. If you have a lot of acne, zinc deficiency. So you can see how important zinc is. And that's it for the 5 foods. So I'm just going to recap it over again. So healthy animal fat, so like ghee or tallow, liver 1 to 2 times a week, sardines several times a week, seaweed in the form of soup or like a quality kelp powder, and oysters. Those are my 5 recommendations. I have 2 extra recommendations, and they are to support your gut during Ramadan, inshallah. And if you are in a process of healing, no matter how good of a diet you have, and no matter how much of these good teeth healing foods you're eating, if your gut is not able to absorb this nutrition, you're not going to get very far. So it's important to be actively healing your gut. We've been exposed to so many toxins over the last 150 years with all the toxins that are out there. You've got the vaccines, you've got the pollution, you've got our drinking water is not what it used to be. You've got the GMOs in the food supply, the pesticides, animals not eating what they're intended to eat. Like cattle, they were not meant to eat corn and soy. They were meant to eat pasture, which is why I would not recommend that you eat ghee or tallow from feedlot cows. They are not treated properly. They're not eating their native food. This is not the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained us to take care of these animals. Yes, they are available for us, but we should treat them respect as it's an amana it's a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're going to be held accountable on the Day of Judgment with how we treated these animals. So make sure you source your animals appropriately. That's, again, a topic on its own. But I'm just trying to give you the big picture of why we are having these issues. And on top of that, the food supply is not full of nutrition the way it used to be, which is why it's so important. Like, why am I mentioning these foods? It's not enough just to be eating a healthy diet anymore. You have to go out of your way and make sure you're eating extra nourishing foods to make up for what you are not eating because of just the way the food supply is, inshallah. So what are my 2 recommendations? I wanted to really, really simplify it to heal your gut, is once a day to have a soup that the base of it, the broth, comes from a bone broth that you've made. And basically, bone broth is a combination of, marrow bones and skin and connective tissue that's simmered for a long time. And what it does is it produces a very gelatinous broth. And gelatinous meaning it has a lot of gelatin in it. And what gelatin is the collagen that's broken down from these things, like the skin and the bones and the connective tissue. And this substance, gelatin, your gut absolutely loves it because it helps it heal. It has a lot of amino acids that your body can use to heal the gut. Because imagine your gut wall and it's got a lot of holes in it that are basically leaking, right? You're not absorbing nutrients. Instead, you are not absorbing, the nutrients are leaving you instead of you absorbing them, and instead you're getting undigested food particles going into your bloodstream, which causes your allergic reactions. So once a day, aim to have soup that has a bone broth base. And the other thing is consume fermented foods for probiotics. And the easiest one is some sauerkraut. So make sure once a day, or if you could do it twice a day, go for it. That's even better. A soup with bone broth as the base and sauerkraut for the probiotics to give your body and give your gut the bacteria that it needs to digest its food. Our gut is filled with God knows how many bacteria, and they affect 80% of your immune system is dependent on the types of bacteria you have in your gut. So if you have an overgrowth of non-beneficial bacteria, things like candida, things like other pathogenic bacteria, this is going to take a toll on your health. It's going to take a toll on your immune system, on your healing. So that's it for today. I hope you benefited from this video. I just want to simplify it down for you. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching. Love this video and share it, inshallah. Share it on your own personal page. Share it in your other health groups, inshallah. And I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak, inshallah. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us the opportunity to see this Ramadan and to grant us the best of this blessed month and to help us achieve our goals in our relationships with Him, within ourselves, with our families. May I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it a chance for us to heal our bodies, inshallah, for His sake, because our bodies are a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are going to be held accountable on the Day of Judgment. This body, this vessel that I gave you, your Lord is going to ask you, what did you do to take care of it? We are not here to achieve perfection. You are here to do your best with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, and I'm just here to inspire you that if I can do it, if I'm working on it, inshallah, with myself, my kids, my husband, inshallah, you can do it too, and I'm here to support you with that. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching, and inshallah, I'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum, ladies.